Welcome, guys. In this lecture, let's talk about how we're going to get the weather information. Now, to do that, we need to create a weather class. We don't have to, we can put all the code in one view controller, but if we have many view controllers, we can also have classes talk to each other. So let's do that. So to do that, we're gonna right click, press new file, and we're gonna create a new Swift file. And let's name this weather service. Okay. All right. Now that we have our weather service, let's create a class for our weather service. Now, whenever you're naming a class, it doesn't have to be the same name that you put it for the file, but it just makes things a lot easier when you keep the names the same. So now that we have our class, in order for us to get this weather information, grab this weather information from the internet into the view controller, we need to create a function to get this weather. So we're going to create a function called getWeather. Now you can name it whatever you want. I'm going to name mine getWeather. This is going to have one parameter, and it's going to be a string. Parameter is going to be city. And there's our function. Now what this method is going to do is going to request the information. And that information is, let's say, weather data. And it's going to wait. So while it's waiting, so it's gonna waiting for the information on the internet. Let's go back to the view controller and create a variable. And let's name this variable weather service. And it's going to be equal to the weather class that we just created. Okay. So now that we have this, let's make an action for this variable. We're gonna make that action in this alert controller. So we're gonna go to the OK action, and we're gonna make it's gonna be first self. We're gonna use the weather service variable, and we're gonna use the get weather method that we made in that other class. Get weather. It's not showing up right now. And we want it to equal to the city label that we have here in this view control. We want it to equal to this. So let's go here. Let's copy and paste it. Now let's make this look a little more professional. So let's add another variable, and let's call it city name. And let's make it equal to the same function. So now that we have this, we can change this to city name. Okay. All right. And I think it wants us to wrap it. Yeah. Okay. So now let's test it out. But before we test it out, let's create a print statement on our class that we created. And first, let's bring this to the top, make it look a little neat. Let's bring it up here. These are all where all our classes are. So let's go to here and let's create a print statement just to see if it works. And let's put weather service city, and it's gonna put the city, whatever city we type. So we're gonna do this. Okay, so now let's build and run. All right, let's see how it looks. So we have our application about to pop up anytime now. I'm using the 6 Plus simulator. So let's select the city and let's put Mexico. That's okay. So now we see that it works. because it displays Mexico, it displays weather city, and it displays the city that we manually typed in. So we know that works. So now let's go to the next step and let's create a delegate. So we're going to create a delegate variable, and we're going to have a weather service delegate to this class. Weather service delegates. Okay. And now that we have our weather service delegate, let's put a protocol. Let's create a protocol for this delegate. So I'm going to use a weather service delegate. And we have it here. And I think it wants us to make this optional. Okay. So now let's clean it, make sure everything's alright. Okay, shows up good. So if you don't know what a protocol is, you can hold on option and click here and it'll show you exactly, well, I guess just search what the protocol is. Well, what a protocol describes a feature of something without saying what that certain thing is. So in this case is creating a feature for the weather service delegate. Okay. So now in order for our view controller to communicate with this class, we need to add a delegate function in our view controller. So let's go to the view controller and let's add this delegate function. So it's going to need a weather service delegate. And this delegate function, we also want a method. You want a method for this delegate. So let's create that method back in our weather service class. And this method is going to be called, name it set weather. So this method is gonna set, oh, I forgot to put the function. It's gonna be a, so now that we have this, let's go back to this view controller. So now that we have the delegate function, it's giving us an error. Let's see what this error is. The view controller does not conform to the protocol web service delegate. And that's because it doesn't conform to it because we don't have this method function, this one, anywhere in that view controller. So let's scroll down here and see if we can find a nice place to put it. Let's put it under this view controller, alert controller, excuse me. So we don't want to put it into any of the functions because this is going to be its own function. So let's put it here and let's name it, it's going to be the set. What do we name it? Set weather. Okay. Set weather. And it's going to be a function, so we're going to have a method in there. Okay. So we added the delegate function on there, and now that we added the set weather function, let's go back to the weather service and add the delegate function in our get weather method. So let's, you can remove this if you want. We'll leave that on there just to give information of what we're doing. And let's add the delegate. And we already had autocorrect set weather, and it made it optional. So now let's add an if statement just to make the code better. To add an if statement, we're going to put if delegate is not equal to nil, then we'll get this. Okay, so we have our delegate, we have our method here. So let's test it out. Before we test it out, let's also make a print statement here just to see if it works. We can, whenever we create the method or the full function for this set weather, we'll delete the print statement if we have to. But for now, we just want to test to see if it works. And let's just put view controller set weather. Okay. So it seems that we have everything for now. Let's build and run. Let's see if it works. Build and run. Okay, select the city. Let's put Houston. So it put the optional Houston and it put the weather service. Okay, it looks like it's working fine. Well, it didn't present the print VC. And you know why it didn't? It's because we didn't load it. We didn't place the method in the view did load. So let's place it here. Because if it worked, it was supposed to print the VC set weather. And that's one thing about if we don't have the method yet while you're writing code, it's a good thing to just test it out by adding a print statement. And that's the main purpose of putting a print statement. So let's go to the view did load and add set weather. And we're going to put self. Actually, the weather service. We're going to add the delegate. Self. And now let's run it to see if it works. Weather service. The error is telling us that it has weather service has no melody. Oh, I spelled delegate wrong. I think our code should be happy now. Let's run it again, see if it works. Okay, it works now. All right, let's select the city again. Let's see if Houston really has a problem. All right, VC set weather, weather service city, it has that. So for now, we're good. So congratulations, and we'll see you on the next lecture.